Representative Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can I have a moment of personal privilege?
You are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would invite all 61 members up to the podium that have co-sponsored this bill with us, but I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my hearts, the one who signed on this bill and the ones that have come to me and said that they would support it. And we do appreciate this. This will be a bill that all Tennesseans will be proud of, and for that, and thank y'all for doing that. Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1288 on passage on third and final consideration.
Representative Todd moves passage, properly seconded. Representative Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. What this will allow us to create municipal school districts within the state of Tennessee. If in fact the mayors or the aldermen in that area vote to do this, then they send it to the people for a referendum, and then in that referendum the people have to vote, and also they have to vote to tax themselves to support this new school system. If that's what they choose to do. Pending any questions, I move passage.
Representative Todd renews his motion. Discussion on the bill. Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just briefly, if the sponsor would yield.
Sponsor yields.
There have been concerns expressed that this might just be a pilot program, a temporary program. Would you please respond to that?
This is not a pilot. It's not a temporary.
And if it comes back up to where this law is revoked within the next 5, 10 years, what will your position be?
My position will be not to revoke it, and we're not planning on revoking it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And my esteemed colleague from Shelby County asked one of the questions I want to ask. But another question that I have for you, Mr. Sponsor, if you don't mind yielding, is, and we talked about this before, but I just wanted to be on the record. This legislation in no way affects buildings or anything of that nature, does it?
No, sir. It does not affect any buildings.
And one last question in regards to the financial effect on, and we're going to talk specifically about Shelby County. Can you just speak to if there, and maybe there's not, any kind of a financial effect, whether positive or adverse, against Shelby County Unified School District?
This bill is neutral. It does not affect any of the funding that we're now receiving down there. All we'll receive in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you, sir.
Representative Dunn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I received an email from an elected official from Shelby County who asked me, when the bill reaches the House floor, you can vote no, but I urge you not to speak your concerns, again, for all to hear. Well, I do have concerns, and I think people need to hear them so they can make an informed decision. And I think one of my main concerns is that this bill deals with municipal school districts. But in implementing it, we've been told, and I think some people have signed a letter, and I have a map that shows in order for this to work most effectively, these school districts are going to have to go outside the municipal boundaries. And I believe mayors have said, well, we will take children from outside the city and let them come to our schools. And in order for this to work, you have to do it. It's very much more like a special school district, but this bill is not a special school district. And the concern, and I think it's a real reality, is that while mayors have signed a letter saying they are going to do this, the people who vote on this would be city council members or school board members. And also what one body promises today, it does not bind those in the future. And so I think what's going to happen, and as evidenced by many emails and some Facebook postings, you're going to see that after time, the city residents are going to say, wait a second, we're paying the taxes and non-city children are coming to our schools. We don't like that, and the pressure will be put on the city officials to either disinvite the non-city kids to come or charge them a fee. And as we all know here, the state is supposed to provide a free public education. So if someone chooses not to pay the fee, then someone else is going to have to pick up their education, and that's where the map starts falling apart. So I think the prediction that I would make, that if this does go into effect, we're going to see some problems down the road. I think that is unfortunately going to come to fruition. Now, last year I supported the attempt by members of Shelby County in trying to come up with a solution. Unfortunately, a judge shot that down. On this particular bill in education, I asked that we roll it so I could try to work to get some language to maybe help solidify what is being said to go along with what is actually written in the law, and unfortunately it was not rolled. So I'll be voting no tonight, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be.
Representative Johnny Turner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will the sponsor yield?
Yes, I'll yield.
The prior two speakers have addressed several of the concerns that I have. First of all, the last General Assembly, one of the 2 years, this body voted so that the creation of municipalities would only be in Memphis and Shelby County. And many of my colleagues voted for it at that time, thinking that it would not impact them. Does not your bill undo that, so that now any municipality that fits the criteria as listed will now be in a situation where they can pull out from the public school system and create their own municipalities as long as it follows the guidelines that are given?
This bill will allow a municipality, if they fit the criteria in the state of Tennessee, to form their own municipal district. It gives parents a choice about educating their children and where they want their children to be educated. That's what the bill does, and it's applicable statewide.
How will this impact, for example, in Memphis and Shelby County? At this moment, we have the consolidated team working to merge the two systems. If this bill passes, does that mean they have to go back to the drawing board, because the 6 municipalities that they are currently including will now be free to form their own schools if they meet the criteria as stipulated?
I don't know what the municipalities in Shelby County are going to do, what the aldermen are going to do. I can't speculate on what they're going to do. So, so that's speculation on my part. We'll give it back to them. If they want to do this, they have the opportunity to do that.
Thank you, sponsor, but my question was just a yes or no reply. I said if. I didn't say that it would.
Thank you, madam. I'll give you my answer.
Okay. And then the next concern that I have is, how will this impact the local school systems around this state if this happens in Nashville, if it happens in Knoxville, if it happens in Cooksville? How will it impact the public schools that remain intact?
Unless you fit into the criteria of 1,500 students or more, then you will not be able to do anything on a municipal school district.
One of the concerns in an editorial I read just recently as it relates to Memphis and Shelby County dealt with the issue of the use of buildings. And would you elaborate on this? If you got to form a new school system, and one of the most expensive items is that of school buildings, are they going to use the school buildings that are currently being used by the public school students?
This bill has nothing to do with school buildings. And don't believe what all you read in the newspaper.
Would you repeat that last
sentence? This has nothing to do with schools. And sometimes what you read in the newspaper is not always correct anyway.
Well, I'm dealing with unintended consequences, Mr. Sponsor. That's what I'm dealing with. Well, thank you very much for the answers that you have given. And I rise in opposition to this bill, and I would that my colleagues would consider not only the implications that it has for Memphis and Shelby County, but you're going to have a municipality for pulling away from your public schools in your district one day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Representative Rich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move previous question.
Previous question has been called for. Is there objection? I see objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
There is aye.
Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 62, 35 nay.
Previous question fails. We're back on discussion. Anyone seeking recognition for discussion? Leader Fitzhugh, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thought I was on the list, but thank you members for allowing us to just chat about this a couple of times. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to say anything about this bill because I think we all know what it's about, and it's about Shelby County and its school situation. We tried that before, and a very learned judge in Shelby County said, you didn't do it right, it's unconstitutional. So I want to ask the sponsor a couple of questions first. As far as the municipalities, I understand some of them have done referendums and have even increased sales taxes. Is that correct?
They all did that at one time, yes, sir.
All right. Now, will they have to do another referendum?
Yes, sir.
Will they have to do another sales tax increase?
As long as their funding formula was in place, they don't have to come back and do another funding formula.
Will the sales tax be enough to fund the schools?
The communities is the one to put that together with the studies. It's not all of it is sales tax.
All right. So there will probably have to be property tax increases with these towns in order to build schools.
I don't know that. That's up to the municipalities how they fund it, and they have to fund it.
Here's my concern, ladies and gentlemen. I thought maybe I didn't have a dog in the hunt because I live in Lauderdale County, which is a rural West Tennessee county, and I live in Ripley, which is a small town. But then I thought, yes, I do, because Memphis is the largest city in the state and the largest city in my area of the country. And in many ways, so goes Memphis, so goes my little town and my little district and the other towns in my little district. So it gave me much pause when we're going to actually do, this body is going to take action that will really only affect Memphis and Shelby County and the schools. And I've long said that for Memphis to fulfill its potential, that their school situation will have to be resolved. And once Memphis fulfills its potential, then I think rural West Tennessee will follow as well. I'm thankful for Memphis, frankly, because my children were born in a hospital there. I go to the zoo there. I go to FedEx Forum there. I go to eat at restaurants. Matter of fact, if I want to go to the theater, I go to Memphis. So Memphis, as a town that has things that people that don't live there take advantage of. And it concerns me that some of the emails that I've gotten from those in the towns in Shelby County around Memphis don't seem to realize that. So I would ask us to think long and hard, especially those of us who are around Shelby County, who Shelby County has such an effect on, the long-term effect of what we're doing here. I don't think it's positive. I don't think it will cause Shelby County to be unified. I don't think it will cause the cities of Shelby County and the city of Memphis to be unified and move that huge portion of our state forward. So I ask you to, even though you may have signed on this bill and you're living in East Tennessee or Middle Tennessee, think about what it might do to your neighbors to the west. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Todd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Leader. This is a statewide bill, not just for Shelby County. I want to make that clear from the podium and for the record tonight with regards to that.
Further discussion? Is there objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1288 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
Todd.
Todd, aye. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 70, 24 nays, one present not voting.
House Bill 1288, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is tabled.